third pick.
Let's go, brother. Game kedua.
Match point currently.
Saeta versus Virtus, bro.
13.5-minute game from game 1. Very
Kita lihat
dominant.
saja, bro ya.
Very decisive. Jumping into game 2, can we see a recuperation from VP as a team, because they're gonna need it as we get ready.
Match point, bro ya, buat
Just
Saeta.
in a second, we'll find out what did it. It is a purify. It's 3 purifiers.
My lord!
You know what they gotta do?
Pop that
They
purify,
gotta pop the purifies.
which I think is the better choice. Why? There's very few ways to PTP. Like,
PTP.
what can you do? One is eye for an eye, but you have to time that. The kicks, of course.
Yep.
The jump from Zhou. That's it. In comes Fanhua, compromising the take. Enough time to just distract them.
And it's going to be a question of will VP... Oh,
Fanhua flickers, almost dies into the wall. Rafa flickers in as well. Fanhua running for her life,
Wah,
but Minu
tumbang
draws
dia,
first
guys, ya.
blood.
oh, that was unexpected.
And Lunar will be able to purify. Oh, Gaigai finishes the job.
It's just a trade.
Lunar.
And that's why that's a tough choice, whether or not Fury or Flicker. Rafa, good call on her to commit the Flicker so that she could get that kill onto Fanhua. Meanwhile, Lunar, I think a lot of her game is going to be a lot of what we saw earlier.
Off to, you know, because of the way the nature of that trade went, neither team really comes out on top of the trade. But it is an early kill, at least for Gaigai on this Claude, so
Gaigai.
she should be fine in that lane against the Bruno matchup against Lunar. But you have the first turtle in 20 up to this point. Saeta rotating around, having this box shot too. We'll get there quickly. Again, we're on flying clouds, so even when it come down to the defense, some of these team fights, we've seen it before where some teams, you know, they go into these extended team fights because of the nature of flying clouds. They end up overstaying a little bit too long because the opposing team can just get back there in the fight very quickly. But this turtle's already up, and they are doing quick work to secure this first turtle for Saeta. Nothing that VP can do.
Good recovery from the Chinese squad. Down bottom, Gaigai blazing the wet into Lunar. Oh, wow. Look at the freeze. Look at the freeze.
Yeah, Lunar.
is struggling in the lane. That quick early rotation by Saeta is going to give her a lot of difficulty. Even Miss Meow couldn't get to that turtle in time because she was still not level 4, just barely about to hit it. Meaning that Saeta is once again, similar to game number 1, hitting the rotational beats and timers at the right time. They suffered a death, yes, but they recovered quickly and they have been relentless with taking control of the river.
Okay. Keeping control in the river. For VP too, in this sense, you know, you want to maintain your jungle. This is going to be a problem. They're already feeling the pressure here.
Looking for a quick choke up.
Fanhua
tries to get on out of there. Blazing the wet, serves up a kill to Zhou.
Gila, Gaigai.
Black Shoes keeping her safe. Looking to finish the job, get a little bit more as Name and Zhou get on out of there. In comes Jessica. Quick lantern flare here. Zhou rolling out. Jessica drops the Electo final blow. But Livin gets a little shields there to survive.
Looks good for the team. Saeta. Still, they are going to be controlling it. Oh, that Paquito, a bit too deep. Oh, it gets the market perfectly. Minan able to counter and get a kill.
Fanhua ran out of dashes.
Yeah, that buffed up Matilda damage, man. It's showcasing itself here in game 2. 2 kills now on Minun. And, you know, one thing that Saeta's going to have to respect is, even if they're pressuring the jungle like we just saw, is, again, the amount of mobility and utility that this lineup that VP does give them is something to take note of here.
Now, with the river spawning up, the Paquito still up top. Seems like the EXP laners will not be joining here, but with a fast clear already by Rafa, VP will have the numbers advantage for this turtle. The box is still far off, but no one's starting it on the side of VP, which is quite interesting to me. They already have the numbers advantage around the river. If they started it, they would have forced Saeta into making an early unnecessary dive.
Second turtle up already, circling eagle by Mino, knocking Fanhua up, serving up a deadness. Welcome Gaigai with a blazing duet back, and Fanhua gets taken down. Zhou in the middle of it all. Puissance looking to secure the turtle. Jessica, another the final blow, helping Zhou secure. Rafa one-on-one. The sword better than the fist, and Zhou gets Lantern Flare once more. Baksha Unite, Mamba out.
Miss Meow escaped with barely a sliver of health, but yes, even though VP got a nice start to that team fight, it happened a little bit too late. If they started it off a little bit earlier, maybe their chances of getting the turtle would have been higher. But since Saeta was able to set up and respond to the initiation of VP because they were much closer to the turtle, then Saeta walks away with the turtle and some wins.
Okay, off to it. Some of the wins on both sides here, but right now Saeta trying to hold on to a bit of a lead up to this point. There's the scalability is one of the main points of contention. Whoa, damn it.
Jessica,
Trying to get one over. Jessica still picks the fight.
Wah, nekat itu Jessica, bro.
Rafa knocks her out.
Oh, udah dikasih kabur malah balik.
You're not alone. Gaigai 2v1. She and Lunar, one more beat, and Fanwa looking to get it, but do they know Miss Meow and Livin are here? Miss Meow and Livin, the Crimson Beacon, the Deadness welcome. Throw in Fanwa and the flicker back in, a choke up and takedown.
Tetap
They
kena
do
guys ya.
not have an answer for this Barrett. The control that Virtus.pro is showing after a few slip-ups early on.
Yeah,
after
Lunar.
looking like that they'd be able to manipulate the map a little bit towards their favor. Virtus.pro are still a difficult team to fight against with their Barretts. Still, Saeta might be able to keep up control by the pressure that they're applying at the right time through the side lanes.
That is so difficult to deal with, like we mentioned, with the utility offered from VP's lineup. And even the punching power, the literal punching power from Rafa, you already saw, is keeping Jessica on her toes instead of like when we saw her with Ezra in the previous game.
Loh.
She's got a little bit of free reign, that little kick going to be used by Fanwa. No follow through on that one. And that's one of the difficult things about being a Cho in general, but even more so now you have this Matilda to worry about. Daytona's welcome to. Won't land on anyone. The fight for the turtle, 3 for 3 though for Saeta.
Despite them actually losing out more of the big team fights, Saeta are still able to get a majority of the major objectives.
It's the timing, again, it's the rotations, when they decide to park themselves around the objective, the minion waves that they decided to flow and freeze at the right time. And again, we go back to Turtle 2, the window that Virtus.pro had to take Turtle 2. They didn't jump on it, and now Saeta is continuing to slowly dismantle Virtus.pro's presence in this map with invade.
Oh, Crimson Beacon through the wall!
Livin.
They want to get a choke up, but instead they get a kick, and Zhou Baksha Unite into it. Fanwa falls first, Lunar scores. Puissance back to disincentivize forward momentum. VP punish Saeta.
Yeah, good punish there. This is what they have to do though. They have to play to their strengths. VP definitely feeling it better here in game 2 because of this composition. This is why it's worked so well for other teams that have drafted it. Now, this also just allows you to have that space for Lunar. Lunar on the Bruno, and which is, mind you, one of her better heroes that she's been known for too, is going to be a big threat through the course of this game. Now that we're approaching that mid to late. Again, trying to get the kick.
That's a conceal alongside Zhou. They answer with a Circling Eagle, knocking up Fanwa. Miss Meow misses. The Deadness welcome. This is a good chance for Saeta to reconfigure their approach, but instead the map is something they address first. VP has been working on it.
Yeah, at least we get to see VP balance things out in terms of the map control. They're being aggressive in terms of trying to get the fights in their favor, but they're still not forgetting about their map. After a few minutes of Saeta pretty much running all over the side lanes and using those minion waves to pressure Virtus.pro out of the timings.
How is Jessica able to eye for an eye and back out?
She didn't get the Daytona's welcome again, but Jessica is going to be hard to catch on a Benedetta. She gets away. This is something that they'll have to keep track of as the game goes through. You know, you don't want to let Jessica to just push the off lane, the long lane, knock down some of these turrets like she's doing right now.
Fanwa saying ni hao, kicking up Rafa, but there's not enough of a response. It's just Gaigai there to back off, and Rafa knocks Fanwa out once more. Deadness welcome finally coming through, throwing Zhou into the wall, and Lunar finds Name. Can Gaigai help support? She doesn't have a blazing duet ready yet. AOT stacks her down. VP looking to get the Lord.
The inevitable reality of the composition of Virtus.pro. Way too tanky, too much damage. Zhou, can you steal it? Can you?
And she
Bullshit.
misses. Miss Meow with the secure.
Miss Meow,
Even though
bro
they're
ya.
both at level 11, I think it was a matter of timing. Miss Meow, what precision.
Yeah, definitely timing there. Crucial that they got that, though. I mean, again, 3 turtles went over to the Saeta, but as long as that Lord goes to VP, they can start pushing down some of these turrets a little bit more. They've got 2 in their pocket.
Blazing duet a little too soon for Gaigai.
Which
And they
Ini
do get the jump
langsung
on
di-pantry gitu
Amino.
bang
Miss
konsep.
Meow can't save her rover.
Ngeri banget.
Salute to all the roamers out there. That's how it's done.
Merci.
Not like the gotcha that I got earlier in the day, who would be the first one out. Hopefully he gets to watch this.
Oh.
Good job, Minan.
Yep, sacrificing herself there. Oh, Fanhua be able to get away. This has been a really difficult Cho game for Fanhua. You know, 6 deaths, but it's all because she's trying to get to the point where she can get the angle on the kicks. But what's difficult is you literally have to pop 3 purifies, man. You gotta be able to get into the zone. And if you do kick, you're still susceptible to getting crashed down, even if you get the purify out.
I mean, it was said 3 times. Pop that Fury like
Did
this.
it fun
Fury
hua.
like this. And
Crimson Beacon. There's so many ways for them to PTP, y'all.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's just too much. And that's why that Cho pick was a bit of a risk when it did come through, but right now I think Saeta really just wants to go ahead and get to a point where their Claude is online for Gaigai. She's got to get that Trinity. Jessica's been doing work.
Uh-oh.
Jessica.
Burst coming through. Eye for an eye on that last one. Jessica survives.
Not a lot of Benedettas can really make the matchup against the Paquito work. There have been moments of brilliance by Jessica, but it's still a reminder that when it comes to this specific matchup, Paquito almost always has the easier time between the two.
Benedetta mostly usually wins when she's away.
Yeah.
The difficult thing now for Saeta is that even though they can
Whoa!
What?
Gaigai looking go for the flag
Whoa,
in the
that Minun.
Unite knockdown is able to take out Minun. She's not
Bisa
going to be part of
gitu
the
ya.
next fight.
As I was saying, the damage for Gaigai is what they were waiting for.
Fanhua with a kick on Miss Meow. Answers with a
Tidak Miss Meow. Waduh, Fanhua turu dia.
Gaigai with a blazing duet. Might take down 2 and Miss Meow falls. The current trade.
Masih
3
Gaigainya,
for
guys.
1.
What a collapse by Virtus, bro. I thought Minan was a little bit more forward because they had a way out. It was way too risky to be up that far, and it seemed like they underestimated what Saeta could do with the surprise initiation.
Man, looking at this replay, this is what I was talking about. Look at the
Livin.
damage. Where did that come from?
And the pickoff on Minun was what started it all.
Yeah.
If Minun was there, imagine how she could have maybe saved a few members of VP, how she could have punished Saeta a little more, maybe dulled the damage that was being brought out. Saeta's just...
That's that utility that Matilda brings, and then when it's gone, you really feel it on the team.
Yeah, I know they had the Matilda there and they were
Lord
probably
yang
protecting
kedua,
that side
Bang,
of the
ya.
jungle, but your Barretts wasn't there. If Barretts was already on the way crossing the center of the map, then it's good for you to be up ahead.
That's a little baby Barretts.
Black. Shoes already used up.
Kinda cold.
Crimson Beacon. What is Livin looking for here? She has no Purify just yet. Lunar does, though. Lord gets soft reset. Fanhua holding onto the wire brush. Minun going to be checking in. Gaigai denying the peak.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Lord reset. Jessica's going to go back up top, push that
Minun.
long lane to try to get someone's attention for this. They can just go ahead and post up right now. Saeta has really found their footing in this game. Might taking some damage. Circling Eagle use.
Oh, it's a little too much. The hurt that
Lunar.
Minun brings alone. That was all just Minun.
Lord kedua, bro ya.
And the
Buset.
kick, they find one. It's Miss Meow.
Blazing
Into
wet.
Into 3, into 4. And in comes Jessica taking down the big dino. And Rafa is going to pay the price. She gets run down by Saeta. 2 free kills.
Unfortunately, Rafa missed the start of her combo. Could not get that big knockout strike to turn it to the favor of VP. Without the Barretts, without the Paquito, they are severely lacking damage in front line. Saeta
Oh,
jumps.
did Fanhua.
Might get punished here. Serves a kill over to Lunar. And they get one down. Lunar gets shut down. Jessica Hill finds another. And she gets shut down by Livin too. It's a bloodbath post-Lord.
I said it earlier at the beginning of the game. Flying Clouds is the map that we're on. And if you stay a little bit too long, I know they wanted the Lord, but they got punished. That's what happens.
They just keep fighting.
They caught farting.
I have to apologize, Livin. I wasn't familiar with your game. I wasn't familiar with the game. That was a good call.
Yeah.
Very good call to go for that. They at least got some trades
Aman
out that
saja, bro, ya.
equalizes, stabilizes the map, and this push by Saeta just a little bit, but it gives them enough breathing room to make it a little bit more comfortable for themselves. And
Oh, Minun circling Eagle to exit through the other side. Saeta finds one kick,
Purify.
forcing that Purify off of Livin with a Crimson Beacon too. Miss Meow down to a third of her health. Zhou still holding strong with that Poissons. Rafa able to back on through. Zhou gets knocked up, not enough turret hits. Gaigai, I don't think he can do that. They back off.
They back off. Lord's going to be taken down here. After taking some damage to that base turret, they will knock it down, though. And so Saeta looking to put more pressure.
Saeta's in the base. Jessica comes through, dropping that Electro final blow. There's still a minion standing, and they take another inhibitor down.
Virtus Pro, okay, you're still going strong, but Saeta is definitely much more comfortable now. The inevitable tide that is Gaigai 305, but that is almost a 95+% participation rate for all of the kills. Fanwa, you know what? At least you guys are winning. This isn't like me dogging on Fanwa. It's just a really tough game for Cho.
Yeah, this is one of the hardest games to be in if you're a Cho. 3 purifies and just a bunch of mobility.
Hey! Fanwa heard that, and she took it personally, forcing back a majority of VP. Miss Meow! A lot of damage coming through with the blazing duet. Finishes it.
Gaigai.
And they find Gaigai. The Purify is
nice
perfect,
banget
but
bolanya.
Bull finds her all the way in the back. They're on the base. But I think VP can still take care of the minions. Fanwa falls. The inhibitor's still standing. Saeta turned tail.
Ooh, that's what happens when that football travels with you, even in the BMI.
That was a heat-seeking football. Unfortunately for Gaigai, when she pressed that BMI, the animation was already locked in, and that will chase you till the ends of the earth.
Go!
Oh,
A
man.
screamer is what they would call it. Still, Saeta have full control. Fanwa started things off, and that was a great entry. Still, with the presence of the tower, there are some things that Saeta need to consider. It can't just be all Gaigai. Even going in, it's tough for Jessica. And this is the tough thing about the lineup of VP. It's not just Fanwa who struggled with 9 deaths. Look at how the attempts by Jessica to try and enter make a big impact. She goes in, she's instantly out. She can't bring out a nice little sword intent or enhanced basic attack with it. Even Name, it's difficult for her, especially when Gaigai decides to go that deep with the tower still up. A thing that I would have changed here, I wish Saeta just decided to focus on the tower a little bit more.
Yeah, that was a big attempt because they thought they had the win. Oh, and here's another one for the Lord.
Dapat lo
Massive exchange here, forcing that black shoes already. Lunar is cut out by Jessica, and that's a big trade
Gila,
for Name.
Gaigai.
But Miss Meow falls too. Jessica's bloodthirsty. Gaigai falls. That's a marksman out for Saeta, but they do trade out for Rafa, popping her brutality. No way she survives against 3.
Ooh.
And it's a 2 for 3. Bloody before the Lord. Minun and Livin left to defend. I'm not liking their odds. These two do not have the kit to clear waves.
Yeah, I was going to say they should just make a way to the Lord there. They spent a little bit too much time running it down mid, and they just got the call. Go for the Lord. This can be delayed out, though, and I think Minun wants to do that because, again, Flying Clouds can bring the team back here, but there's just not much.
Rush it.
To slow this down here.
Minun trying with her wisps. Goes for a circling eagle. Might hit it with a shooting star, but Zhou still secures. Had that retribution off cooldown. Lord number 2 for Saeta.
Great attempt by Minun. Mainly because
Livin.
she didn't go down. If she was taken down in that attempt to steal that Lord away, then that would have been a terrible call. But she lived, and now they have a full 5-man for the defense. We've seen Saeta when it goes into the all-in dives, how difficult it is for them. It's like they need to really be on point with their execution during team fights.
Yeah.
There is, if I would give it a number, I'd give it maybe like around a 25% chance that VP could wipe out or at least take out 4 members of Saeta in this attempt to end it. And then they're going to get a lot of map control afterwards. Still, the odds favor Saeta to end it now.
Yeah, they definitely can off this Lord. Conceal was already used. They're going to be stopped. Fanwa might look for potential. They want to get this base turret down first. They got to deal with the Lord. It's being worked on. They jump in.
Miss Meow taking a few hits that quickly. Rafa looking for a target. Kick from Fanwa. Denna's welcome. Circling yield to the back line. Jessica falls, but the base is still exposed. Rafa gets taken down. As long as Gaigai lives, they can just keep wailing away. Double kill for the Claude. And just like that, Saeta. Sweet Virtus
GG banget bro ya. 2-0
What
bro.
a game, what a series.
Mahal bro ya.